friends, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jules, and in this video I'm going to take you on a cozy mystery bookshelf tour. Let's see what I got. So in my booktube newbie tag, I had mentioned that my mother, who now lives with me, she had a huge collection of cozy mysteries, and I did unhaul, like, I went through them. There was like several boxes full, and I did unhaul quite a bit of them, and I kept quite a bit, just because she had either already had multiples in the series, or the ones that she just had the first book in the series sounded interesting. She would go to the bookstore quite a bit, and she would get the first in a series in a lot of books to see if she liked them, to see if she wanted to continue in the series. So some of those, I don't know if she had gotten to read those or not, but I have a lot of those. But so anyway, I'm going to show you first what I have in this shelf. These are ones that I have acquired on my own. This shelf are the ones that she has in the series that she had multiples of, and I may have gotten a few more to add to that series. And then in my bottom shelf down here, we'll take a look. I have 25 books that are the first in a series, and I'm going to go through those real quick. So I keep all of my cozies organized on a spreadsheet. So every single series I have, you know, them in order, when they were written. So Joanne Fluke first started this Hannah Swinson series in 2000. So she has written this entire series over, well, her most recent book, her 30th book of that is coming out in 2024. So it's following the same person and other people in the town and whatever. But Hannah Swinson, it's a bakery mystery. So all the books, the very first book is, is Chocolate Chip Cookie Murder. And I absolutely love her books. I love Hannah Swinson. She's a single, older woman, not older, but like maybe in my age, like middle-aged woman. She's not married. She owns a bakery. Hannah has the eye of a dentist who's in town, who's a very nice guy, maybe not the most handsome of guys, but he's very nice and he loves her. And then you've got the cop who is the handsome, devilish man who obviously is in her life because she's finding bodies and trying to solve these crimes when she's not supposed to be. But anyway, following her along, I started this series, oh gosh, probably in my 20s. My mom and my sister and me, we all read these. We got to probably, let's see, we got to probably maybe the 20th book or so, maybe in 2016, and then they may have read more, but I didn't read all those. So anyway, I started the whole series over again last year. So this is a book series that I will read probably multiple times in my life. She has recipes in every one of her books, and so these are, she actually has a cookbook that has all of these in there, but every single book, and it's not just at the end, like they're spread throughout the whole books. So anyway, love her series, highly recommend. Definitely pick those up if you haven't. Another author that I really like, Leslie Meyer, kind of along the same lines of Joanne Fluke. I think this is her only series that she writes for, but her 30th book is also coming out in 2024. But she started her series in 1991. Her very first book was Mistletoe Murder. And this series, you're following Lucy Stone, and she is a married mother of 3 at the beginning. I think more come along the way. She's trying to juggle work life, husband, home life, finding dead bodies. So her books are like Mistletoe Murder, Tippy Toe Murder, Trick or Treat Murder. Sorry, I'm on the wrong side, guys. Back to School Murder. Hers follow along a lot of holidays and events around her kids, you know, like school things and everything like that. So a lot of fun with her. So anyway, those are the 2 of mine that I have collected. Now I'm going to move on to the ones that my mom had, and I'm going to tell you all about those. This is some of my mom's cozies. So I'm going to go through these really quick. So there's a few series in here. I have a pizza mystery by Chris Cavender. There's 7 books in the series. I have the first 3. And those are right here. I have Undercover Dish Mystery. There's only 4 in the series. I have the first 3. I am going to get the 4th one. I did read the first 2 of these. The first one is The Big Chili. This follows a girl. She makes undercover dishes. Basically, she makes dishes for people and sells them to them. So then they can pass them off as their own, like if they're hosting events at their house or, you know, in their church or community or whatever. So anyway, it's fun. I have the Cackleberry Club. This is one of my mom's favorites. The first one is Eggs in Purgatory. This follows several older women who either their spouse had died or they got divorced, or just kind of a single women's kind of club, if you will. They get together, so Cackleberry Club. They get together and they open like a little diner. And I have read the first one of this and I did enjoy it. So I do have all these because she had that whole set. So I will be reading all those. Chocolate Covered Mystery. I have not read these by Kathy Aarons. There's only 3 in the series, so it's a trilogy. The first one is Death is Like a Box of Chocolates. So I have not read this. I don't know much about it. And then I have, let's see, A Fudged Up Mystery. Also have not read this series. There's 6 in the series, and she has the first 3. By Christine Desmet. I don't know if I'm saying that right. So I don't know anything about this either. But the ones that she has multiples of, she obviously enjoyed them, and she had good taste in mysteries, so that's kind of why I kept them and will read them. Another one that I love is the Magical Bake Shop Mystery. This is by Bailey Cates. And I read the first 4 of these, and I love these. There is 11 books total in this series, and I will be getting the rest of these. Cupcake Bakery Mystery. So these are very similar. So this is Sprinkle with Murder by Jen McKinley. She has the first 3 of these, but I don't know how much I'm going to enjoy these, because a lot of them seem, since it's a Cupcake Bakery Mystery, Joanne Fluke is all a bakery, and it's gonna be hard to like top it, because that's my all-time favorite. And then also up here I have some witchy ones. I have A Potion to Die For. These are by Heather Blake. It's a magic potion mystery. So I haven't read these, so I don't really know much about them, but like the covers are stunning. So anyway, definitely gonna read those. I have also read the first in Caught Dead-Handed. This is a Witch City mystery by Carol Perry. These are great. I have the first 4 in these, so I've read the first one and I loved these, so I'm definitely going to continue in this one. And then she also has this one that I'm not sure about. It is a bewitching mystery by Madeline Alt, and it is The Trouble with Magic. There's 7 books in this series. These covers aren't doing it for me, so I don't know. I am a cover girl. Like, if it has a beautiful cover or a cute cover, I'm in. I'm probably going to buy it. I don't care what it's about. And then up here I have this is a wedding planning mystery. The first one is Engaged in Death by Stephanie Blackmore. And I don't know. I don't really love anything like about weddings, and I'm not a person who loves going to weddings or, you know, planning weddings or any of that. So I don't know how I'm going to feel about this one. We'll have to see. And then she also had first 2 in it's Booked for Murder by J.C. Eaton. Divorced middle-aged mom, works as an account clerk from a police department in a small city in Minnesota. I have 25 books in a cozy series down here on this bottom shelf. And I'm going to take a minute and we're going to reposition, and I'm going to go through all those real quick. I have all the books. I have 5 piles of 5. I'm going to go through them. I have all my stats here. So I have the name, the title name, how many books are in the series, when the recent release was, if there's any more coming out, or if it seems to be done with that. And anyway, and we'll do a little synopsis of each one of them really fast. The first one I have is Cremains of the Day by Misty Simon. There are 6 books in this series, the most recent release being in 2023. So for Tallulah Graver, marrying wealthy Waldo Phillips seems like the best way out of the family business, the Graver funeral home. But when her marriage falls apart and Tally is left with the next to nothing, she turns to cleaning houses to make ends meet. As humbling as it is to tidy the mansions of the snobby socialites she used to call friends, at least she doesn't have to be around dead bodies. Until she discovers one of her employers lying in the closet with a knife sticking out of her chest. This is a funeral home cozy. Next, we have The Uninvited Corpse by Deborah Sennenfelder. There are 6 books in this series, the most recent release also being 2023. So Hope's schedule is already jam-packed with recipe tasting and shameless plugs for her food blog as she rushes off to attend a spring garden tour in the charming town of Jefferson, Connecticut. Unfortunately, it isn't the perfectly arranged potted plants that grab her attention. It's the bloody body of reviled real estate agent Peaches McCoy. So this one is a food and lifestyle blogger mystery. Next one I have is Night of the Living Deed by E.J. Copperman. And there are 10 books in this series. The last book was released in 2019. Newly divorced Allison Kirby wants a second chance for herself and her 9-year-old daughter. So she's returned to her hometown on the Jersey Shore to transform a fixer-upper into a charming and hopefully profitable guest house. But when a bump on the head leaves her seeing not only stars but spirits, Allison realizes the real challenge she's facing is out of this world. So it sounds like a ghosty. So this is a haunted guest house mystery. Okay. And then I have Flipped for Murder by Maddie Day. And there are 12 books in this series. The most recent release was in 2023. Nursing a broken heart, Robbie Jordan is trading in her life on the West Coast for the rolling hills of southern Indiana. After paying a visit to her Aunt Adele, she fell in love with the tiny town of South Lick. And when she spots a for sale sign on a rundown country store, she decides to snap it up and put her skills as a cook and a carpenter to use. Everyone in town shows up for the grand reopening of Pans and Pancakes, but when the mayor's disagreeable assistant is found dead, Robbie realizes that not all press is good press. With all eyes on her, she'll have to summon her puzzle-solving skills to clear her name, unscramble the town's darkest secrets, and track down a cold-blooded killer before she's the next to die. This is a country store mystery. And then the last one in my first stack is Class Reunions or Murder by Libby Klein. There are 9 books in this series. The most recent release was 2023. There's also an upcoming release in 2024. Newly widowed and stuck in a middle-aged funk, Poppy has been running on cookies, infomercials, and one-sided chats with her cat for months. There's no way on earth she's attending her 25-year class reunion, especially after receiving a very bizarre letter from Barbie, the popular cheerleader who taunted her all through high school. At least not until Poppy's best friend practically drags her to the event. Using the dreaded homecoming as an excuse to visit her eccentric Aunt Jenny, Poppy vows to leave Cape May with pride and Spanx intact. Too bad Barbie is still the queen of mean at the reunion. And worse, that her body is lying right in front of Poppy's old locker. Singled out as the killer, it's up to Poppy to confront her past and clear her name, but between protecting her aunt from disaster and tackling a gluten-free diet, can Poppy crack the case before she's voted most likely to die by the murderer? It does say it includes 7 gluten-free recipes from her kitchen, so it looks like this one has some recipes in it. I have Foul Play at the Fair by Shelley Fradant, and there are 4 books in this series. The last was released in 2015, and so there's not a lot of these. There's only 4 in it, and it looks like they are centered around seasons or holidays. As more and more tourists flock to Celebration Bay, New York, to enjoy their seasonal festivals, the town is in need of a professional coordinator. Enter Manhattan event planner Liv Montgomery, tired of big city stress and looking for an idyllic spot where she and her Westie Terrier, Whiskey, can put down roots. The Harvest by the Bay Festival is Liv's first chance to prove herself, and everything from apple bobbing to pumpkin painting goes perfectly until the body of a juggler is discovered stuffed into an antique apple press. So with the murder on the loose, town leaders threaten to shut down the upcoming Halloween and Christmas festivals, but the town's livelihood is at stake. There's no way Liv is going to let that happen unless she has to solve the murder herself. So, all right, next one is Buried Secrets by Peg Cochran. And There are 8 books in this series, the most recent release being in 2023. So this is a small town Cranberry Cove mystery. So when Monica Albertson comes to Cranberry Cove, a charming town on the eastern shore of Lake Michigan, to help her half-brother Jeff on his cranberry farm, the last thing she expects is to harvest a dead body. It seems that Sam Colbert, who ran the farm while Jeff was deployed overseas, has some juicy secrets that would soon prove fatal, and Jeff is ripe for the picking as a prime suspect. Forming an unnecessary alliance with our high-maintenance stepmother, Monica has her hands full trying to save the farm while searching for a killer. Colbert made plenty of enemies in the quaint small town, but which one was desperate enough to kill? The next I have Death by Committee by Alexis Morgan, and this has 6 books in the series, the last released in 2022, so they may or may not be continuing in this. After a rough divorce, Abby McCree only wants to stitch up her life and move on, but other loose ends appear after her elderly aunt Sybil passes away, leaving Abby to tend to a rundown estate complete with a slobbery mastiff of questionable pedigree and a sexy tenant who growls more than the dog. As Abby gets drawn into a tight-knitted quilting guild, she makes a twisted discovery. Aunt Sybil's only known rival is buried in her backyard. Despite what local detectives say, Abby refuses to accept that her beloved aunt had anything to do with the murder. While navigating a busy social calendar and rediscovering the art of quilting, she launches an investigation of her own to clear Aunt Sybil's name and catch the true culprit. I'm not really into quilting, so I don't know how much I'm going to love this one either. Next, I have Lending a Paw by Lori Cass. This is a Bookmobile cat mystery. Sounds fun. And there are 12 books in this series, the most recent release 2023 and an upcoming 2024 release. Eddie followed Minnie home one day, and now she can't seem to shake the furry little shadow. But in spite of her efforts to contain her new pal, the tabby sneaks out and trails her all the way to the Bookmobile on the maiden voyage. Before she knows it, her slinky stowaway becomes her cat co-pilot. Minnie and Eddie's first day visiting readers around the country seem to pass without trouble, until Eddie darts outside at the last stop and leads her to the body of a local man who's reached his final chapter. Initially, Minnie is ready to let the police handle the case, but Eddie seems to smell a rat. Together, they'll work to find the killer because a good librarian always knows when justice is overdue. I like books. A Bookmobile sounds fun. Cats. I don't love cats, but I don't not like cats. I'm more of a dog person, but anyway, could be interesting. And then the last in my second pile is A Killer Read by Erica Chase. This one has 5 books in the series. The last was released in 2015. This is the only series she ever wrote, so no more from her. Reading specialist and mystery book lover Lizzie Turner was excited for the first meeting of the Ashton Corners Mystery Readers and Cheese Straws Society, hosted in Molly Matthews' old Southern mansion. That is a wordy sentence. Okay. But she didn't expect the gathering to become the scene of an actual murder. A stranger has been shot and nobody knows who the victim is or how Molly's antique gun came to be used as the murder weapon. As the plot becomes all too real, the police chief, Lizzie's former high school crush, steps into it to investigate. Then Lizzie begins finding mysterious manuscript chapters in her mailbox, and Molly surfaces as the next name on the killer's list. A Dark and Stormy Murder by Julia Buckley. And this has 5 books in the series. The last one was released in 2020. It also has a Christmas novella that was done in 2020. Camilla Graham's best-selling suspense novel inspired Lena London to become a writer. So when she lands a job as Camilla's new assistant, she can't believe her luck. Not only will she help her idol craft an enchanting new mystery, she'll get to live rent-free in Camilla's gorgeous Gothic home in the quaint town of Blue Lake, Indiana. But Lena's fortune soon changes for the worse. First, she lands in the center of small-town gossip for befriending the local recluse. Then, she stumbles across one thing that a Camilla Graham novel is never without, a dead body, found on her new boss's lakefront property. Now, Lena must take a page out of one of Camilla's books to hunt down clues in the real crime that she seems to be connected to the novelist's mysterious estate before the killer writes them both out of the story for good. Have Murder in the Mystery Suite by Ellery Adams. This one has 9 books in the series. Recent release date is 2023, and she also has several other series, so You might check her out. If you don't like this one, you might like one of her other series. Anyway. Tucked away in the rolling hills of rural Western Virginia is the storybook resort of Storyton Hall, catering to book lovers who want to get away from it all. To increase her number of bookings, manager Jane Stewart has decided to host a Murder and Mayhem Week so that fans of the mystery genre can gather together for some role-playing and fantasy crime solving. That sounds fun. When the winner of the scavenger hunt, Felix Hampden, is found dead in the mystery suite, and the valuable book he has won as his prize is missing, Jane realizes one of her guests is an actual murderer. Amid a house full of fake detectives, Jane is bound and determined to find a real-life killer. There's no room for error as Jane tries to unlock the mystery before another vacancy opens up. Well, this one sounds fun. Like, I would love to go to a murder mystery suite and do all the fun things. The next one I have is Hounding the Pavement. This is a dog walker mystery, and it's by Judy McCoy. And let me see. I forgot to tell you how many's in it. This is 6 books in the series. The last was released in 2012, and she has no new books or series since. So this is the only series that she had. Well, I don't know if it's her only series, but there's no new series. No more in this either. Ditching her dog-eat-dog career and cur of a husband, Ellie happily trades her power suits for a pantyhose-free wardrobe and her dream job. And she couldn't be happier unless, of course, Mr. Wright shows up at her door with a pint of Haagen-Dazs. But when she stumbles upon a dead client, Ellie becomes a suspect in an investigation led by smoking hot, if cocky, Detective Ryder. Ellie wouldn't exactly mind staying in his custody if it meant sticking close to him 24/7, but she worries about the deceased's missing prize-winning Bichon. How do you spell that? How do you say that? It's a breed of a dog. Bichon? I don't know. And I love dogs, but I don't know. Did someone steal him? If only she could find the dog, he'd tell her who the culprit is. But a killer wants Ellie to let sleeping dogs lie or else. I mean, like, how could he tell her how the culprit is? I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to like this. I love dogs, but... And I think that's the only reason I kept this one, because I think I was a little iffy on keeping this one to begin with. Because I was just like, meh. Anyway, we'll see. All right. Black Cat Crossing by Kay Finch. This is a bad luck cat mystery. There are 4 books in the series. Last book released 2020. No new books or series since. Sabrina has never been the superstitious type. Still, when she moves to Lavender, Texas to write her first novel and help her Aunt Ro manage her vacation rental business, Sabrina can't avoid listening to the rumors that a local black cat is a jinx, especially after the stray in question leads her directly to the scene of a murder. The deceased turns out to be none other than her Aunt Ro's awful cousin Bobby Joe Flowers, a known cheat and womanizer who had no shortage of enemies. The only problem is that Aunt Ro and Bobby Joe had quarreled just before the cousin turned up dead, leaving Ro at the top of the long list of suspects. Luckily for Sabrina, she's got a new sidekick, Hitchcock, the bad luck cat, to help her sniff out clues and stalk a killer before Aunt Ro winds up the victim of even more misfortune. Her name's Sabrina, and she has a black cat. Like, I feel like there could be more original in naming the character. The next one is Spellbooked. This is a retired witches mystery by Joyce and Jim Levine. And this has 3 books in the series. And it was the last one was released in 2016. And there's no other series, no other books. Double Double Toil and Trouble. Before they could blink their eyes or twitch their noses, Molly, Elise, and Olivia somehow became eligible for AARP. But they can't fly off to Boca Raton just yet. First, they must give up their magic, recruit and train 3 new witches, and pass on their cherished spellbook. They've barely begun to consider potential practitioners when Olivia winds up dead and their spellbook is stolen. To honor their friend and reclaim their spells, Molly and Elise are about to go wand to wand with a dangerous young witch more powerful than the trio was in their prime. And this time they're going to need more than magic up their sleeves. The next book I have is A Deadly Grind by Victoria Hamilton. There are 11 books in this series with a recent release in 2023. This is a vintage kitchen mystery. When vintage cookware and cookbook collector Jamie Layton spies an original 1920s Hoosier brand kitchen cabinet and at an estate auction, it's love at first sight. That's a tongue twister. Despite the protests of her sister, Rebecca, that the 19th century yellow brick house they share in Michigan is already too cluttered with Jamie's junk, she successfully outbids the other buyers and triumphantly takes home her Hoosier. But that night, on the summer porch where she's left the Hoosier to be cleaned up, a man is murdered, struck on the head with the steel meat grinder that is part of the cabinet. Who is this stranger, and what was he doing on the porch? Does his death have anything to do with the Hoosier? As the police struggle to determine the man's identity, Jamie can't help but doing a little digging of her own, accompanied by her three-legged Yorkie poo, Hopalong. But in her bid to uncover the truth about the hidden secrets of the Hoosier, Jamie may be the one who ends up going, gone. This seems super wordy just by the back of this stuff. And the placement of the punctuation with the sentences. Yeah, I don't know. Next one is Death of a Kitchen Diva by Lee Hollis. This one has 17 books in the series with a recent release date of 2023, as well as an upcoming 2024 release. And I just realized I've literally been saying the next book's coming out in 2024, and that's this year. So I could have just said this year. Single mom Haley Powell is barely keeping her leaking roof over her head when her boss at the Island Times gives her a new assignment, taking over the paper's food column. Haley's not sure she has the chops. She's an office manager, not a writer, even if her friends clamor for her mouth-watering potluck dishes. But the extra income is tempting, and Haley's chatty first column is suddenly on everyone's menu, with one exception. When rival food writer Karen Applebaum is found face down dead in a bowl of Haley's creamy clam chowder, all signs point to Haley. To clear her name, she'll have to enlist some help, including her BFFs, a potentially pregnant lobster woman, and a glamorous real estate agent. As she whips up a list of suspects, Haley discovers a juicy secret about the victim and finds herself in a dangerous mix with a cold-blooded killer. Next one is Assault and Pepper, Assault and Pepper, by Leslie Budwitz. This is a spice shop mystery, and it has 8 books in the series, recent release in 2023, upcoming release this year. After leaving a dicey marriage and losing a beloved job in a corporate crash, Pepper Reese, her name's Pepper, Assault and Pepper, that's okay. Pepper Reese has found a new zest for the life running a busy spice and tea shop in Seattle's Pike Place Market. Her aromatic creations are the talk of the town, and everyone stops by for a cup of her refreshing spiced tea, even other shopkeepers and market regulars. But when a panhandler named Doc shows up dead on the store's doorstep, a Seattle spice shop cup in his hand, the local gossip gets too hot for Pepper to handle, especially after the police arrest one of Pepper's staffers, Tori Finch, for murder. Tori seems to know why she's a suspect, but she refuses to do anything to curry favor with the cops. Convinced her reticent employee is innocent, Pepper takes it on herself to sniff out some clues. Only, if she's not careful, Pepper's nosy ways might make her next on the killer's list. Next one's Allergic to Death by Peg Cochran. There are 3 books in this series. Business is looking up for Gigi's Gourmet Delights, thanks to her newest client, restaurant reviewer Martha Bernhardt. Martha has the clout to put Gigi's personal meal plans on everybody's lips, but instead of dropping a few pounds, Martha drops dead from a severe peanut allergy right after eating one of Gigi's signature dishes. When the distractingly debonair Detective Mertz identifies traces of peanut oil in Martha's last meal, Gigi suddenly finds her diet catering business on the chopping block. Now she'll have to track down who tampered with her recipe before her own goose is cooked. This next one I have seen other people reading and liking, so hopefully I do. This is Death by Dumpling by Vivian Chin. I don't know how you say that. It's a noodle shop mystery. The last place Lana Lee thought she would ever end up is back at her family's restaurant, but after a brutal breakup and a dramatic workplace walkout, she figures that a return to the Cleveland area to help wait tables is her best option for putting her life back together, even if that means having to put up with her mother, who is dead set on finding her a husband. Lana's love life soon becomes yesterday's news once restaurant properties manager Mr. Fang turns up dead after delivery of shrimp dumplings from Ho Lee. But how could this have happened when everyone on staff knew about Mr. Fang's severe, life-threatening shellfish allergy? Now, with the whole restaurant under suspicion for murder and the local media in a feeding frenzy, To say nothing of the gorgeous police detective who keeps turning up for takeout, it is up to Lena to find out who is behind Fing's killer order before her own number is up. That was my 4th stack. Got 1 stack left. I'm gonna burn through these really fast. Murder with Fried Chicken and Waffles by A.L. Herbert. This is a soul food mystery series, and there are 4 books in the series. Last was released in 2020. There's no new books or any other series since. So, Halia Watkins has her hands full cooking, hosting, and keeping her boisterous young cousin Wavon from getting too sassy with customers. Having fast-talking entrepreneur Marcus Rand turn up in her kitchen is annoying enough when he's alive, but finding his dead body face down on her ceramic tile floor after hours is much worse. Marcus had his enemies, and the cast iron frying pan beside his corpse suggests that at last his shady business deals went too far. Halia is desperate to keep Sweet Tea's name out of the sordid spotlight, but her efforts only make Wavon a prime suspect. Now, Halia will have to serve up the real villain before the killer returns for a second helping. I don't like the names in this. I don't know about anybody else, but sometimes if I don't like the names of a character, it throws the whole book off. Curses, Boiled Again by Sherry Randall. This is a Lobster Shack mystery. There's only 3 books in the series. The last was released in 2019. Nothing else written since. Allie Larkin was living her dream as a ballet dancer when a bad fall put her out of business. Now she's back home in Mystic Bay to heal a broken ankle while also helping her dear Aunt Gully get her lazy mermaid lobster shack off the ground. Nothing would help Gully more than winning the local food festival's best lobster roll contest. The competition is sure to be killer, especially after one of the contest judges dies after eating a roll from one of Gully's biggest rivals. Soon, all eyes fall on Gully as the prime suspect. Allie may only have one good leg to stand on, but she's not going to let her aunt go down for a crime she never could have cooked up. Can Allie, along with her devoted crew of friends, family, and customers, find a way to trap the killer and claw herself out of this hard-boiled murder case? Anyway, these cheesy puns are hilarious in cozy mysteries. I love them. The next one is Death on Eat Street by J.J. Cook. This is a biscuit bowl food truck mystery. There's only 3 books in this series, last released in 2015. When she's once again passed over for promotion at work, Zoe decides to take a big leap and go for her dream. She quits, gives up her fancy digs, and buys a fixer-upper diner in a shady part of town. To keep above water during the renovation, she buys a used food truck to serve to the downtown and waterfront of Mobile, Alabama. Zoe starts to dish out classic Southern food, but her specialty is her deep-fried biscuit bowls that blow traditional bread bowls away. After a promising start, things begin to go downhill faster than a food truck without brakes. First, someone tries to rob the cash register. Next, Zoe is threatened by the owner of a competing food truck for taking their spot. And when the owner ends up dead inside Zoe's rolling restaurant, Zoe and her sole employee, Ollie, find themselves hopping out of the frying pan and into the fryer. They need to find the real killer before both of them get burned. Ollie is the cat. There's a cat on there. I love the food truck. I love the cover of this. It's really cute. Next, I have Meet Your Baker by Ellie Alexander. A lot of people also have been talking about this one. There are 19 books in the series. Recent release was 2023, and she has 2 upcoming books this year. So that 19 includes these 2 new books. And this is a bake shop mystery. After graduating from culinary school, Juliet Capshaw returns to her quaint hometown of Ashland, Oregon to heal a broken heart and help her mom at the family bakery. The Oregon Shakespeare Festival is bringing in lots of tourists looking for some crumpets to go with their heroic couplets. But when one of Tort's customers turns up dead, there's much ado about murder. The victim is Nancy Hudson, the festival's newest board member, a modern-day Lady Macbeth. Nancy has given more than a few actors and artists enough reasons to kill her, but still, the silver lining, her name is Jules. Jules' high school sweetheart, Thomas, is the investigator on the case. His flirtations are as delicious as ever, and Jules can't help but want to have her cake and eat it too. But will she have her just desserts? Murder might be bad for business, but love is the sweetest treat of all. All right, my last one I have is All Fudged Up by Nancy Coco. There is 13 books in the series, a recent release last year and an upcoming release this year. You can't fudge an alibi. Allie McMurphy is up to her neck in renovations at the Grand Old Hotel that's been in her family for generations. With its quaint Victorian charm and world-famous fudge shop, the place is one of Mackinac Island's most beloved landmarks. Sure, every family has a skeleton or two in the closet, but Allie didn't expect to find an actual corpse inside hers. Can she sniff out the culprit before another victim checks in? That sounds cute. And look at the dog. The dog is so cute. He's with chocolate, though. He can't eat chocolate. He gonna die. A candy-coated mystery with recipes. Ooh. Do like a book with recipes. Anyway, all right. Those are the 25 books I have that are the first in a series. So I'm definitely going to do vlogs, like a first in a series vlog. So I'll probably do like a vlog series where I do a few books each time with like similar themes with them. That is all of my cozies I have, people. It's a lot. So anyway, do you love cozy mysteries? Have you read any of these tons of cozy mystery books that I have? Is there any certain ones that you would like me to read first for my little mini vlog series? That is all I have for now, friends. So until my next video, be yourself, be awesome, be kind. Bye.